Hey guys, this is your host Grant Chachere. Welcome to another episode of the Recruiting Board. My guest today is Jalan Chapman. He is an four-star offensive lineman from Warren Easton High School in New Orleans. Jalan, how's it been going, my man?
It's good. Just get off a good spring. Be Covington. Now we full fledged into the summer, getting ready to work.
Yeah, man. And how did finals go? Because I know you guys finished the finals recently.
It was good. Finished school about 2 weeks ago. Now I'm full grind mode for football.
I got you. And have you been taking any visits recently? I know you had finals, but during the spring, did you take any visits?
Not during the spring, not during my spring football, but during theirs, yeah, I got to go to LSU, Alabama, UCF. Got to see what it was all about. But now it's on to my team. We got to look forward to going to Division 9 5E. You know.
Mhm. Exactly, man. And can you talk about three of the three visits you took, which were Alabama, LSU, and UCF?
When I went to UCF, that was my first time out there after receiving the offer. It was a different atmosphere. It was Florida, so
Yeah.
it was vibes. I like the coaches. I like Coach Hand, Coach Malazan, and Coach T. Reed. Going to Bama, it was a culture switch from when Nick Saban was there. When I was taking my visits with Nick Saban and then Coach Wolf, and for LSU, in-state school, nice. Been there a couple times. It's not nothing new they could show me.
Yeah, exactly. I think for guys who are live in the state, I mean, LSU's could be like an unofficial visit every other Saturday, just because it's so close. So you might want to get to see new people and whatnot. But yeah, so. I know we talked a little bit about this, the schools before we started the show. We just obviously you just talked about LSU, your visit with LSU. Um, but when you got the offer from LSU, I believe that was the summer before your sophomore year. Um,
Yes,
what
sir.
did it mean to you to get that offer from LSU?
It meant a lot to me. It was my second SEC offer out going into my sophomore year. It just made me realize like all the hard work and dedication I put into it. It gets out and it comes back to me. You know.
hmm Yeah, man, and Brad Davis, of course, is the offensive line coach over
Yes,
there at
sir.
LSU. He's one of the top offensive line coaches in the country. Right now, he's helped develop two potential first-round draft picks with Will Campbell and Emory Jones. So, what's your relationship like with Coach Davis? And then also, what has impressed you about him so far with your previous meetings?
Me and Coach Davis have a good relationship. He's a phenomenal offensive line coach, but he's also a phenomenal person outside of football. He's very funny, but he also knows when it's time to lock in and get to the money and get what it's time to do. He a great offensive line coach, great guy. I love him.
hmm And another school you mentioned that's been contacting you a lot has been Alabama. Of course, you took it off and visited Bama this spring. What's the vibe like over there? Because it's I know when you got offered, Coach Saban was the head coach. Now it's Coach DeBoer. So what's been the vibe like over there with the coaching change, and what's your relationship like with the new coaching staff?
When I went there, it was a little slower. Like it was more like to lower school, but I mean, it's a coaching switch, which is also a coaching switch for the players and coaches, and also with him bringing in new coaches, for his liking and for his play style. So yeah, I really haven't got to build no strong relationship with the coaches because, like I said, the ones that I was building relationships with, they left when Nick Saban left. So it's like starting from ground zero with them now.
Right, right. And speaking, another school you mentioned earlier in the show was UCF. I know UCF has been hitting the New Orleans area pretty hard. I know they also offered your teammate Jaden Phillips. Uh, what's been the vibe like at UCF? They last year they joined the Big 12, so now they're officially a Power 5 school. What was your what's been the vibe like over there? And then also, what's been your relationship like with the coaches?
The vibe at UCF, is different. Like it's not something I've seen before going to these SEC schools and also another Pac-12 school in Houston. Like UCF, it's like you got always you could build something outside of football that like you could build a business, you could build your brand, you could build your name because like they're the only major team out there besides the Orlando Magic, which means they have a lot of resources to give to their players, which can be very meaningful.
Yeah, I mean UCF. I don't think people realize that they're actually been one of the better mid-major school. Before they became a Power 5 school when they joined the Big 12, they were always one of the better Group of 5 schools, and they actually have a lot of money. I mean, they also have the largest enrollment of any school in the country.
Yeah,
They had like 60,000 students.
no,
But
they're number two right now. Texas A&M is number
right,
one.
Texas A&M, yeah. But UCF, that's a great. They have they have a lot of they have great campus lifestyle, and of course it's in Orlando, so you got a lot of resorts like Disney World and Universal Studios. So Orlando's a pretty good time. There's been two schools that we talked about before the show that have been interested in you. That's Florida State and in Oklahoma. So what has been your relationship like with the coaches? I know obviously you haven't gotten the offers. I know right now it's kind of a period where you really can't have those type of relationships. But what has been the vibes like with those two schools and you?
They're really showing me that they want me and they really want me on campus. They really trying to get me on campus hard. But like I said, I'm really a my school type of guy. I don't really plan on, doing too many visits, doing too many camps this year. I'm locked in on my school. So whoever I feel as though whoever wants me gonna come get me. And if you ain't coming get me, that means you don't want me bad enough.
Yeah, I mean that's a great mentality to have. I think because a lot of recruits they just kind of go where the flashiest places. But you seem like you're taking the best route, which is they look hone in on the schools that really want you and are making a true effort to try to get you to come on campus and then of course hopefully you commit. So I think you're taking the right process there. And now let's talk about your school, Warren Easton. I know Warren Easton, obviously one of the better programs in the state of Louisiana, four state championship appearances since 2015, 2014, 2015, I believe. So the last 10 years. And you're coached by Jerry Phillips, who also was a D1 athlete at Tulane. So what advice has he given you so far throughout this recruiting process, considering that he also went through the same process you're going through right now?
He tells me to like keep my head on straight. Don't get too big headed with it. Like, stay grounded, stay with my team. Like, don't make me feel like I'm better than my team, and don't lose my work ethic just because people start to notice it. That's when you're supposed to work harder and grind harder to get it. So, I try to bring my teammates along the path that I'm on. Like, if I do extra work, I'm not gonna do it myself. I'm trying to get my teammates incorporated with it. Because I have to be I'm a very vocal and I'm on the high of of the leadership. So people want to follow me. So I try to get everybody where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. And going to the season, we've actually talked about this before. And your team is joining the Catholic League. The Catholic League, of course, is arguably one of the best high school football leagues, not only in the state of Louisiana, but the country. Right now, I think, but the only in the last 10 to 15 years, every team has been to a state championship besides Holy Cross. But even Holy Cross has become a rising program in the city of New Orleans. Um, what was your reaction when you found out about the news that your team has moved to the Catholic League? And also, what are you excited most about joining the Catholic League?
So when we got the news that we were joining District 95, it really wasn't a like big old reaction from me and my teammates. It was just like, okay, it's just we got new opponents to beat up on now. So like our mindset doesn't change because the competition changed. Our mindset is still the same thing. We're gonna take it week by week, day by day in practice. We're gonna get better each and every day so we can become that team that goes to the state championship and hold up that gold trophy in December. That's all we want.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody gonna stop us.
And one of the teams that's actually in the Catholic League is your longtime rivals, in the car. Of course, they also have a lot of great players, including Richard Anderson and Corey Adams, guys you're going to be seeing when you go toe to toe later this fall. So, what's it like playing that rivalry game? With all the players, all the great players on both sides, all the great coaches, and also the spotlights on that game each and every single year you guys play against each other.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty rough one. It's a good game. It's very lively, very aesthetic, and it's like very like well published around the city, state, and even the country. Sometimes, it was the number 5 game of the week that week in the country. So me and my team, we need to lock in, but treat it like it's the same thing. They bleed how we bleed. It's one game. We need to take it as such.
Now that, because right now, I think a lot of people don't realize this, you're only a junior, and you already sound like you're like the leader of the team already. So coming from your freshman year to now entering your junior year, what's been your approach now that you're now an upperclassman? You got
Uh,
to.
my mindset went from my freshman year, I have time, to my sophomore year without season being cut short to like, dang, I missed a year of, running for a state championship. Then now my junior year is like high school go by fast. You got to cherish every single moment you're there in the classroom, outside the classroom, during the season, you got to cherish it because, one, you don't know when your last play might be, and two, college is not guaranteed for everyone. Luckily, I'm blessed to be in that position to where I know I have the opportunity to go to college after high school, which means I'm going to take all my advantages of it.
Mm-hmm. And what player do you like to model your game after? Because I know a lot offensive line. They're actually one of those positions where, I mean, really they're the main position. You talk to any offensive lineman, where they really are probably the smartest in terms of knowing where to be and who goes where, because just the amount of film they watch. And I know you watch a lot of film. So what players do you like to hone your skills after, whether it's college or the professional ranks?
So I like to model my game after like players such as Jason Kelsey, like just with his explosiveness and strength, and Creed Humphrey. Also coming down to the college level, I like Will Campbell's speed, and I like the I think he's the right guard, Zeke Frazier, also Emory Jones. I'm able to be able to work out with Will and Emory sometimes when they come down. Also, I like Panay Sewell's game, you know, and also J.C. Latham and Tyler Booker. I really like what he do. I try to model some things after him, but it's like I try to put everything I see from the players that I like their playing style, and I try to add it to my portfolio, try to add it to my game because it can make me better if I have all aspects that they have and put it into one person.
Hmm. And some of the players you actually talked about were centers. Is that a position that you've been really working on? Because I know you play guard, but are you now trying to become a center?
Yeah, I try to focus on all 5, but mainly focus on the interior 3 because I'm a pretty big guy, but I'm not the 6'5", 6'6" that the tackles are. So I'm stay grounded and humble and understand that I'll have to play the interior three, which I don't have a problem with because myself and I play all five. So, I'm just getting everything in line for when it's time to go to college because, I can't go out there feeling like I only know one position because if you go out there feeling like you only know one position, that's the longer you're going to wait till you get on the field. So I know all five. I understand all five, and I know what all five doing each play. So I feel like that's going to be a big ups in me getting on the field my true freshman year.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite on out of the five?
I like center because like even though you on the island sometimes, but also depending on the front that they're running, you also gonna have help each and every play. So I feel like the hardest part about center is getting the snap off. But other than that, you have your guards help through and through. But like I really like guard because like you could just embarrass somebody. Like you could take them for a ride. Like I like taking another person and just driving them. Like you can't stop this. It's bound. It's happening.
Mm-hmm. And what areas have you improved on since your freshman year? And what areas do you feel like you still need to work on as a player?
Uh, my strength, my footwork, my speed. But I also need to work on my explosiveness and like finishing the play.
Mm-hmm. I know there's been a lot, you've gotten a lot of offers since your freshman year. You've been a big commodity, not only at your school, but the whole city of New Orleans. Um, and also, you got to deal with school because I know Warren Easton that expects a lot of their students academically. So, what have you done to balance everything that's going on, whether it's on the field and off the field?
So we're gonna start off the field in the classroom. I like to make sure my work is done. Get through days, get through classes. If I have problems, I'll ask a fellow student. Like in my class, I'll go to the teachers for aid. Because you can't be a dumb athlete. So first semester I finished with a 4.0. Second semester I finished with a 3.2, 3.5, somewhere around that range. I try to get all of my work done, be eligible high school, and also be eligible for college when it's time to transfer over. And like also off the field, I'm really not doing too much. So like I go to church on Sundays. I don't like to go to parties. It's just not a big deal to me. It's always gonna be there. So I'd rather stay inside, get some work in, lift a couple weights, play the game. Just like to stay out of stuff because, first thing people will say if something happens, Jalen was there. No, I wasn't. Trying to keep myself out of trouble.
Yeah.
And then on the field, you just have to be coachable. You got to be that, you got to have that mentality that, yes, sir, no, sir. Coaches love that. They love that attitude. Even when, if you are wrong, don't go about it screaming and yelling at your coach. Yes, coach, but I feel like we should have did this way. We had an opportunity to do it this way. Like you got to be able to talk, communicate. Uh, you just have to be strong. You gotta want it. You gotta live. You gotta grind. You know?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything? Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap everything up?
Nah.
All right, all right, guys. That's Jalen Chapman. He's once again he's a four-star offensive lineman from Warren Easton High School in New Orleans. Um, Please like this video and subscribe to Rugu Sports Media's YouTube channel, and also to make sure to follow us on all social media platforms as well. Jalen, thanks for hopping on, my man.
No problem.
Yep. Have a good weekend.
You too.